Imagine waking up one morning to find out your favorite rapper, the man behind hits that dominated every playlist, might actually be caught in a web darker than any of his lyrics. Yes, you heard that right. Lil Durk exposed, and this isn't your usual gossip. We're talking FBI informants dropping bombshell claims, murder-for-hire plots, and a drama that could make even the wildest rap feuds look like playground squabbles. How did we get here? Was it ambition gone too far, loyalty turned deadly, or just bad timing in a world where every move is filmed, leaked, and dissected online? And while fans argue, memes explode, and Twitter goes into chaos mode, one thing is clear. This isn't just music news, it's a full-blown scandal. People are whispering about secret meetings, lavish spending, and alliances that sound straight out of a Netflix crime drama. Can Lil Durk survive this? Will the streets still ride for him? Or is the empire built on beats about to crumble under real-life headlines? Stay with us, because what you're about to hear will change everything you thought you knew about one of hip-hop's biggest names. The streets were buzzing, but this time, it wasn't music dropping that had everyone talking. No, this was different. Lil Durk, the chart-topping rap star, the man whose face has graced billboards and whose lyrics have been on everyone's lips, suddenly found himself in a storm far bigger than any verse he ever spit. Rumors had been swirling for months, but nothing prepared the world for the bombshell that hit social media last night. An FBI informant, yes, a federal agent's inside tip, claimed that Durk's empire wasn't just about tracks and streams. Allegedly, the street's most loyal son had allegedly orchestrated a murder-for-hire plot that went horrifyingly wrong. And now, everyone wanted to know, what really happened behind the cameras, behind the music videos, behind the blinding stage lights? For years, Durk's name has been synonymous with both innovation and controversy. From his rise in Chicago's gritty streets to becoming the face of Only the Family, he cultivated an image of loyalty, of someone who rides for his own. But every empire has cracks, and insiders have hinted that Durk's world wasn't all platinum records and flashy chains. There were whispers, hushed conversations on dimly lit corners of the internet, deleted posts that someone always managed to screenshot, that his inner circle was tangled in disputes, rivalries, and alliances more complicated than any chart topper's contract. And now, these whispers were becoming headlines. The informant's claims weren't just casual gossip. They painted a picture of a man balancing fame with fear, influence with intimidation, and loyalty with lethal decisions. Could the rapper who made his city proud also be orchestrating chaos under the radar? Sources, speaking under strict anonymity, suggested that what went down involved rival rappers, a misfired plan, and consequences that were far deadlier than anyone anticipated. If true, this wasn't just legal trouble. It was a cultural earthquake that could redefine Durk's legacy. Fans, naturally, were divided. On one side were the ride-or-die supporters who flooded comment sections with #WeRideWithDurk and claims that this was all a conspiracy to tarnish a name that dared to rise from the streets. On the other side were skeptics, analysts, and critics dissecting every past headline, every rumored street encounter, every shady deal ever linked to the rapper. It was a perfect storm of outrage, disbelief, and for some, vindication. And while social media blew up, investigators and insiders painted a story that seemed almost cinematic. Allegedly, the plan was precise, almost surgical in its intent, but, as often happens when ambition meets hubris, something went horribly wrong. Innocents were involved, plans were leaked, and suddenly, the empire that seemed untouchable was now a target in its own right. Let's rewind for a second. Durk's career, while celebrated, hasn't been without its shadows. Past arrests, rumored affiliations, and feuds with other prominent names in hip-hop all added layers to the narrative. But this alleged murder-for-hire scandal dwarfs everything prior. According to the informant, the intent wasn't random. It was about control, protection, and a demonstration of power that many now describe as street politics, amplified by fame. Anonymous sources claim that certain members of Durk's circle were involved in coordinating logistics, meetings, and even surveillance, all allegedly approved or at least condoned by the rapper himself. If verified, these details wouldn't just impact his personal life, they would send shockwaves across the music industry, law enforcement, and the court of public opinion. People were already drawing comparisons to other high-profile cases, imagining courtroom drama, media frenzy, and of course, the inevitable meme war that accompanies every major hip-hop scandal. Social media, naturally, had a field day. Clips from old interviews were repurposed, screenshots of deleted Instagram stories circulated, and hashtags began trending with alarming speed. Lil Durk murder plot? One asked, questioning the informant's credibility. FBI got him? Shouted another, sensationalizing the unfolding events. The internet thrives on spectacle, and nothing sells faster than the fall of a public figure. Yet amidst the chaos, insiders claimed there were layers no one outside the investigation truly understood. They described it as a chessboard, with Durk moving pieces strategically, balancing his public image with private threats. The sources even claimed that lavish spending patterns, sudden disappearances, and cryptic social media posts were all tied to the broader strategy, a web of influence, intimidation, and allegedly, preparation for the fallout that was now unavoidable. Meanwhile, law enforcement sources who requested anonymity due to the sensitivity of the case reportedly confirmed the existence of surveillance footage, communication logs, and other hard evidence that could tie Durk and certain members of his entourage directly to events leading up to the alleged crime. While the exact contents remain sealed under court orders, leaked snippets suggest meetings in luxury hotels, private vehicles, and other locations that fans would never have associated with a rapper normally seen in music videos and award shows. The juxtaposition was striking. A man whose life seems all flash, money, and music videos allegedly orchestrating plans in shadowy corners that few dare to document. It's the kind of story Hollywood struggled to script without it seeming unbelievable. And yet, here we are, watching it unfold in real life, as the internet debates every angle, every motive, and every possible outcome. Durk's team, of course, is denying everything. Legal statements insist that the claims are misleading, inconsistent, and lacking credibility. According to them, the informant is unreliable, and the narrative being pushed across media outlets is an exaggeration designed to tarnish Durk's name. But for every denial, there seems to be a counterclaim. Screenshots of alleged communications, third-party testimonies, and snippets of conversations that suggest at least some level of awareness or involvement. Whether these will hold up in court remains to be seen, but for fans and skeptics alike, the suspense is intoxicating. And with social media dissecting every public appearance, Instagram post, and tweet, it's impossible to separate rumor from fact in real time. The narrative is fluid, chaotic, and extremely compelling, the perfect storm of celebrity, crime, and public fascination. Even beyond the legal and social media dimensions, the alleged scandal raises questions about loyalty, morality, and the intersection of street life and fame. How much can a public figure control when their personal decisions ripple outward, affecting fans, collaborators, and rivals alike? Sources hint at tension within Durk's inner circle, suggesting that some allies may have felt caught between obedience and self-preservation. The alleged murder-for-hire plot, according to insiders, was not a spur-of-the-moment act. It was planned, deliberate, and tied to long-standing rivalries. The public reaction has been visceral. Some argue that fame insulated Durk from past missteps, while others now see the celebrity shield cracking, revealing a more complex and perhaps darker persona behind the music. And let's not forget the financial angle. While Durk's tracks and tours pull in millions, the informant claims that certain funds were allegedly redirected, supposedly to finance parts of this operation. Lavish lifestyles, sudden luxury purchases, and cryptic transactions were reportedly analyzed by investigators who noticed patterns inconsistent with his declared income. Whether or not these claims will hold water in court, they certainly add fuel to the fire, painting a picture of a rapper whose life of luxury may be more intertwined with dangerous activities than anyone outside the inner circle could imagine. Fans are left asking, did the man we admired for his rise from the streets cross lines no one wanted to see? Did fame make him untouchable, or did it simply illuminate the shadows that were always there? Shadows that were always there. The moment the informant's claims hit the internet, chaos erupted. Anonymous sources immediately painted a picture more outrageous than any rap feud ever seen. According to these insiders, the alleged plan was not just a simple confrontation, it was meticulously detailed, with multiple players, precise timing, and high-stakes coordination that seemed ripped straight from a crime thriller. People were whispering about private meetings in luxury condos, encrypted communications, and even clandestine overnight travels. Rumors spread that certain collaborators were allegedly tasked with surveillance, logistics, and even arranging safe exits, while Durk, allegedly, maintained oversight like a general orchestrating a battlefield. Fans were left speechless. Could it really be true that the man whose Instagram stories show champagne towers and platinum chains might also be coordinating life and death maneuvers behind closed doors? Social media, as expected, went into overdrive. Memes exploded, clips from past interviews resurfaced, and threads dissected every lyric and every handshake as if they contained hidden confessions. One viral tweet claimed, Lil Durk went from killing charts to allegedly plotting hits, while another, more cynical, post read, FBI got him on mute, streets on blast. The public's reaction was a mix of disbelief, fascination, and the kind of schadenfreude that fuels online discourse for weeks. Some fans rallied under hashtags defending him, calling this an elaborate smear campaign. Others speculated endlessly on every meeting and every transaction that had ever raised eyebrows. For the first time, it seemed, Durk's public persona, the loyal son of Chicago, the OTF leader, the music mogul, collided head-on with a narrative that could threaten everything he had built. Leaked documents, allegedly obtained from sources close to the investigation, added another layer of intrigue. According to these claims, investigators had compiled communication logs showing exchanges that hinted at preparation, coordination, and strategic planning. Some messages, supposedly, were coded in a way only insiders could understand. Financial transactions were scrutinized, with whispers that luxury purchases, sudden transfers, and unexplained expenses could have been linked to funding certain aspects of the alleged plan. Experts, who spoke under the condition of anonymity, suggested that this pattern, if verified, could indicate a level of premeditation far beyond the typical street feud. The narrative was evolving into a full-blown thriller, complete with suspense, hidden alliances, and the looming threat of legal consequences. Meanwhile, former collaborators and industry insiders began speaking out. One anonymous source, identified only as a former OTF associate, claimed, "Durk's always been smart, but this, if it's true, it's next level. People think it's just music, but this is the streets playing in a way no one sees coming." Another source, allegedly a neighborhood figure with ties to rival crews, told investigators that he had heard conversations about protection, retaliation, and keeping the circle tight, all supposedly linked to the events described by the informant. These accounts, while unverified, created a narrative that the alleged plan wasn't reckless, it was calculated, deliberate, and potentially lethal. Every new revelation sent fans and critics diving deeper, searching for the smallest inconsistencies or confirmations in Durk's past behavior. Public reaction wasn't limited to social media. In the streets of Chicago and other cities, chatter intensified. Fans debated every angle, while local news outlets attempted to piece together verified facts versus rumors. Radio hosts speculated on what the alleged implications could be for the music industry and street credibility. Commentators questioned the reliability of the informant, the timing of the leaks, and even the motives behind the sudden public exposure of the case. Some argued that rival factions within the industry might be using the investigation to tarnish Durk's image, while others feared that if even part of the claim were true, it could spark retaliatory violence. The tension was palpable, and the city seemed to hold its collective breath, watching the drama unfold like a real-life crime series. Further breaking down the scandal, insiders reportedly described lavish lifestyles juxtaposed against dangerous undertakings. While Durk's public appearances showcased designer wardrobes, luxury vehicles, and exclusive parties, investigators allegedly noticed a pattern of secretive meetings and strategic movements that suggested the music persona and the alleged street operations were running parallel. The contrast was striking. One side of the world saw a celebrated artist. The other allegedly witnessed a meticulous operator with high-stakes objectives. Some sources even hinted at private planes, hidden safe houses, and coordination between multiple operatives to avoid detection. The drama was cinematic, almost unreal, yet according to the informant, painfully real. The media frenzy wasn't just national, it went global. International outlets picked up the story, presenting it as a high-profile scandal that merged fame, crime, and intrigue. Headlines read things like Lil Durk's Empire Under Fire, and from rap charts to courtroom charts, alleged murder plot shocks fans. Analysts debated every potential outcome. Could he face decades in prison? Would his music career survive this scrutiny? Were collaborators at risk of turning on him? Each new angle added to the tension, and while Durk's team continued to deny the allegations, the public was now invested in following every development. Tweets, TikToks, YouTube breakdowns, and Instagram reels dissected every movement, every post, and every reaction. The world had become a living commentary on the unfolding drama. Anonymous investigative reports also highlighted potential legal ramifications. According to these sources, if the allegations held any truth, federal prosecutors could pursue multiple charges beyond the murder-for-hire claim, including conspiracy, obstruction, and misuse of funds. Law enforcement, supposedly, was building a case not only on witness testimony, but on digital footprints, financial trails, and surveillance materials. The gravity of the situation was clear. If convicted, the consequences could be severe and long-lasting. Yet, even amidst looming legal battles, public fascination persisted. People seemed unable to look away, captivated by the intersection of celebrity, crime, and high-stakes drama. In addition to legal scrutiny, the fallout in the music industry was palpable. Collaborators, labels, and promoters faced difficult decisions, whether to continue associations, issue statements, or distance themselves from a potentially embroiled artist. Some insiders allege that meetings were held in private, quietly discussing how to navigate potential backlash, contractual obligations, and fan expectations. Leaks suggested that some peers in the industry were already reassessing partnerships, wary of association in the event of escalating legal action. The entire ecosystem of hip-hop, from street-level crews to international labels, was reportedly on edge, waiting for the next piece of information that could dictate moves across multiple fronts. Public reaction also included intense speculation on social media about motive and method. Fans tried to piece together a timeline, linking every Instagram post, every studio session, every known conflict to the alleged plot. One viral theory claimed that lyrics from a recent track contained hidden admissions. Another suggested that certain collaborations were strategic alliances tied to influence and protection. Whether these claims had merit or were purely speculative, they fueled discussion, debate, and viral content. The story had become self-propagating, each rumor feeding another, each leak amplifying public scrutiny. For every supporter, there was a critic ready to dissect the minutiae, ensuring that no statement, post, or lyric went unexamined. Even more sensational were alleged financial discrepancies linked to the scandal. Leaked reports claimed that certain transfers, expenses, and acquisitions might have been connected to operations detailed by the informant. Whether true or not, the suggestion alone was explosive. A man whose music career earns millions might also be allegedly funding activities that cross legal and ethical boundaries. Experts commenting on the situation highlighted the stark contrast between public performance and private undertakings, emphasizing the dramatic tension inherent in a lifestyle that combines wealth, fame, and alleged criminal involvement. It was, as some observers noted, a perfect storm of celebrity culture colliding with real-life consequences. As the weeks passed, the alleged scandal surrounding Lil Durk evolved from whispers to front-page headlines. Federal investigators, insiders claimed, were meticulously reviewing evidence, tracing every digital footprint, every communication, every transaction that could connect him to the purported plot. Rumors suggested that subpoenas had been issued to several members of his inner circle, with law enforcement demanding testimony that could either exonerate or implicate the star. Social media platforms exploded with speculation. Fans debated whether loyalty should outweigh legality. Critics asked if Durk's fame had shielded him from scrutiny in the past, and if now the mask was slipping, revealing the precarious balance between street credibility and celebrity accountability. Leaked documents allegedly revealed that meetings, phone records, and even financial transfers were under intense investigation. According to anonymous sources, investigators were piecing together a timeline that, if verified, would demonstrate premeditation, coordination, and potential intent. Alleged collaborators were reportedly being grilled, asked to confirm or deny participation in actions they may have witnessed or been ordered to carry out. The streets, once a playground of influence and respect, were now a stage for legal maneuvering, speculation, and high-stakes drama. Insiders hinted that some associates were weighing plea deals, potentially turning on each other to mitigate their own exposure. The tension within Durk's circle, once described as loyal and tight-knit, was now fraying under the weight of scrutiny. Fans, of course, had their own reactions. Twitter threads exploded with theories, dissecting Durk's lyrics, his social media posts, and even his public appearances. One viral post read, "Lil Durk wrote his last verse in jail prep?" while another sarcastically commented, "From platinum plaques to FBI stacks." Memes proliferated, blending humor and horror as the public attempted to make sense of the situation. Yet amidst the online frenzy, local and national media outlets tried to sift fact from fiction. Analysts dissected past feuds, relationships, and business dealings, offering their own interpretations. Was this an elaborate smear campaign or a carefully orchestrated legal sting? Every new tidbit seemed to escalate the suspense, leaving no one able to fully separate reality from rumor. Legal experts weighed in on the potential consequences. If allegations were substantiated, charges could range from conspiracy to obstruction, and in the gravest scenario, involvement in murder for hire. Federal prosecutors were reportedly considering multiple angles, analyzing evidence and witness statements to determine the strength of their case. Inside sources claimed that this investigation could reshape the perception of celebrity involvement in organized street-level operations, with Lil Durk potentially serving as the emblematic figure of the clash between fame and accountability. Public sentiment, meanwhile, was in flux. Some defended him passionately, claiming he was being targeted due to fame and influence. Others expressed outrage, noting that regardless of status, alleged criminal actions must be addressed with full rigor. The tension was mounting, and the narrative continued to evolve daily. As the story unfolded, lavish lifestyle details allegedly tied to the scandal came under scrutiny. Reports circulated about sudden luxury purchases, private jet travel, and high-end property acquisitions. Analysts speculated whether some of these expenditures were funding alleged operations or merely coincidental displays of wealth. The contrast between public appearances, glamorous music videos, award shows and concerts, and alleged behind-the-scenes operations painted a dramatic picture, almost cinematic in scope. Some insiders suggested that these dual lives, celebrity and alleged covert activity, had created vulnerabilities, leaving traces that investigators were now uncovering. Fans and critics alike became fascinated with the juxtaposition, eagerly consuming every report and update. Public reaction remained a powerful force shaping the narrative. Street-level chatter in Chicago reportedly mirrored social media trends, with debates about loyalty, morality, and consequences dominating conversations. Former collaborators, legal analysts, and even celebrity peers weighed in publicly and anonymously, adding layers to the discussion. One insider allegedly stated, "The man you see on stage is one side. There's another side, and it's complicated, dangerous, and calculated." The implications were staggering. Fans questioned the boundaries of celebrity influence, while critics debated the ethics of associating entertainment personas with alleged criminal activity. The cultural ramifications extended beyond the music industry, sparking discussions about responsibility, accountability, and the consequences of blurred lines between fame and street life. As investigations intensified, speculation about potential outcomes became unavoidable. Would plea deals emerge? Would federal charges hold up in court? Could Durk navigate the legal storm and maintain his music career? Or would this scandal irreversibly damage his legacy? Sources claimed that legal teams were strategizing intensely, preparing for high-stakes courtroom battles that could determine not only the rapper's future but also set precedents for similar cases in the entertainment industry. Public interest reached fever pitch, with every appearance, interview, and social media post analyzed for hints, inconsistencies, or confirmations. The world was watching, dissecting, and speculating, ensuring that the unfolding drama maintained its grip on public attention. Meanwhile, hypothetical fallout scenarios continued to circulate. Leaked sources hinted at internal turmoil within the music industry, record labels reconsidering partnerships, promoters scrutinizing contracts, and collaborators re-evaluating associations. Some insiders allegedly feared that affiliation with Durk during this turbulent period could jeopardize careers, leading to quiet distancing or public statements of neutrality. Analysts speculated about the cascading effects. Endorsements could be paused, concerts rescheduled or canceled, and fan perception might shift drastically depending on emerging facts. Even the broader hip-hop culture seemed to hang in suspense, watching a saga that blurred the line between music, street influence, and legal accountability. Financially, alleged discrepancies in transfers tied to the scandal fueled more discussion. Analysts examined patterns of spending, sudden liquidity shifts, and potential investment maneuvers. The narrative suggested that money, like fame, could be both a shield and a target. If some of the allegations were verified, the implications were profound. Resources that might have supported music ventures or personal wealth could instead be linked to serious legal exposure. The storyline, as amplified by leaks and social commentary, emphasized a dual reality: a superstar lifestyle on one side and potential criminal entanglement on the other. The tension between these realms created dramatic contrast, making the story irresistibly compelling to both fans and critics. Neared its climax, attention turned to broader societal implications. Discussions on social media, podcasts, and news outlets highlighted debates about celebrity accountability, law enforcement intervention, and cultural responsibility. Commentators speculated on the symbolic impact of the case, how a high-profile rapper could become a focal point for national conversation about the intersection of fame, influence, and alleged criminal activity. Fans were left questioning loyalty, ethics, and the consequences of actions hidden behind public personas. The suspense was tangible, and the world awaited the next revelation, court hearing, or leak that could redefine the narrative entirely. Finally, the stage was set for the ultimate confrontation: legal, cultural, and social. Every revelation, leak, and rumor had contributed to a crescendo of tension. Questions loomed larger. Could Lil Durk maintain his career and public image? Would the alleged charges stick, leading to unprecedented legal consequences? How would fans, collaborators, and the broader hip-hop community react if the worst-case scenario materialized? The story, far from concluded, promised further twists, betrayals, and revelations. And as the world watched, a collective suspense built, knowing that the next chapter could either vindicate a superstar or unravel a legacy, painstakingly built from the streets to international fame. And now, folks, the question is yours, you decide. Is Lil Durk truly behind this scandal? Or is this just an elaborate smear campaign caught between fame and street politics? Will he manage to protect his empire and loyal fan base? Or will these allegations turn into an irreversible nightmare? Every leaked detail, every anonymous source, every social media post is a piece of this puzzle. And every piece is unfolding right here on SPILLORA. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe the allegations, or do you see this as just media hype and drama? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you get every breaking update, leaked report, and insider revelation before anyone else. Like, share, and discuss with your friends, because this story isn't over. And as soon as the next leak hits, even more shocking twists will hit the public eye. And remember this: when fame collides with the world of crime, every secret comes with a price. And this time, the price could be massive. Lil Durk's next move, insider confessions, and the FBI's next steps. Everything will unfold before your eyes. But one thing's certain: this is only the beginning. Stay tuned, stay alert, and always remember, here on SPILLORA, the truth never stays hidden. Truth never stays hidden.